Hey there, welcome once again to the Public Policy Cafe. It's your host, Rector Mohammed Jibril. In our previous lesson, we talked about what public policy is and what we looked at some definitions of public policy. The lesson we have on the menu today is the types of public policies. We're going to talk about the distributive public policy. We'll talk about the redistributive public policy. We're going to talk about regulative public policy, and we're also going to talk about the constitutive public policy. Let us delve into what are the types of public policy. And the first one we're going to talk about here is the distributive public policy. Now, distributive public policy are basically policies that are producing goods that benefit all members of the population, at least in principle, and the cost of production of the goods is shared by all the members of the state. Now, to explain this, let me use the examples here. So for government to provide internal security, it needs money to produce this internal security, which is from the taxes that we pay. So basically, we are all contributing to the security by paying taxes. And you realize that the internal security that we enjoy is enjoyed by everybody. All right. So a policy like this, which are directed at securing everybody within the state, is a distributive public policy. Now, when you look at the second one, which is providing access to education, everybody, as in when government is producing, or when government is providing subsidized or at least or free education to its population at a certain level, everybody enjoys this and everybody pays. Now, the reason why I said at least in principle is not everybody goes to school, but the idea is that those who go to school end up serving the state or the country, and everybody benefits from what they've studied. If there is technological advancement, the state benefits from the technological advancement through education. So even if not everybody goes to school, the benefits sometimes spill off to everybody. Well, the next type of policy we're going to talk about is the redistributive public policy. Well, redistributive public policy is what we call the Robin Hood policy. I mean, if you watch Robin Hood, it should be easy to understand. So redistributive public policy basically are policies that redistribute wealth to sections of the population. So there are sometimes that some people have accumulated a lot of wealth, a lot of private property and private goods, and at the other side of it, a lot of people don't have are poor. They are not fortunate like the others. And to balance the income inequality, what the government will do is to tax the rich, and then use this monies to provide poverty alleviating programs for those who are poor. So you would see something like food stamps, such as in the US, or what you can also see is affordable housing and other forms of social services for those who are poor. Now, the third type of policy we're going to look at is the regulative public policies. And regulative public policies are basically policies that are directed at compelling certain behaviors or standards of individuals for the safety of the general public. And to explain this, I'm going to use the examples I have here. So, the licensing of doctors. For us to have a safe healthcare system, we need quality doctors. We need doctors that are trained and certified. Not everybody can be a doctor. I can't just wake up out of the blue and say I want to be a doctor. So one way of regulating the system to have quality healthcare system, which would include quality doctors, there needs to be a licensing. and that's a regulative policy. And this happens to lawyers and other, you know. And also, for us to have a safe environment, we need environmental regulation policies. So we have regulations on water of the state, or we have regulations about the air we breathe, safety measures or safety policies, and not only the air we breathe but the land as well. That's why you see agencies like the environmental protection agencies, which is enforcing these kind of regulative or regulation policies. Now, the final type of public policy we're going to talk about is the constitutive public policy. Now, constitutive public policy are basically policies that are directed at making changes in the government machinery or the policy making process of the state. Policies giving power to a particular institution or redirecting mandate from one government agency to another. These are constitutive public policies. So these policies are not directed to the public, but they are directed at making changes in the decision making process. Okay, it's like policies making. So an example would be that maybe the Environmental Protection Agency is supposed to regulate or enforce these policies, but maybe there's a policy that creates another institution that helps or that is above the EPA, that the EPA has to report to. Now, something like this is what we call constitutive public policy. So to recap, what we did today is that we looked at the types of public policy, we looked at the distributive public policy, we looked at redistributive, we looked at regulatory, and we also looked at constitutive. This is the end of today's lesson. I really hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.